What am y'all? Welcome back to Logic's Lens Gaming. Today we're gonna look through the lens of Sons of the Forest, which is a game that I've been playing relatively frequently now. Got a little bit more free time to get into it, and I've been enjoying the hell out of this game. So excuse me if I'm gushing a little bit over this, but I just think it was important for me to come on here and talk about games that can come out working, affordable, and just a full package and then some. So for those that don't know, Sons of the Forest is a horror survival game where you crash land on a remote island with the crew, and your whole crew dies except for you and your AI partner named Kelvin, who's the crash destroyed his hearing. So anything you want him to do, you write notes and give it to him, and he follows orders, and he's just your companion throughout the game, which you can kill, and he will no longer aid you in your survival. Islands filled with cannibals and weird people on the island is trying to survive as well. So you basically, this is my first step into a real survival game. I've tried a couple here and there, but never got into them heavily, and this kind of changed my mind on them in general. But I don't know if I would go into any other ones. I'm loving this one like crazy though. The realism and the detail and graphics and the artistry, the sounds, everything is just pristine in my personal opinion. For this game to be out right now in early access, only been out a month going on 2 at this point, and it came out early access, it worked, no game breaking bugs, and to this day they've added it's been about seven or 8 patches, maybe more, that they've done since February, and I'm just amazed at how a game could come out $30 this complete with this much going on. It's just like, it just really puts things into perspective that N-Night is a relatively small studio and can put out such a great project. I just, like I said, this channel I started it to highlight the games that need more praise that don't get them. Like, that's something that I feel like is relatively important in the gaming industry, why games like Guardians of the Galaxy don't get a part 2, whereas I know the Avengers hurt it so much so that the name wasn't attractive to most people. But when games are really good and they're not the big budget AAA come out and get this game that everybody's gonna be playing, it's like they get swept under the rug. Now granted, this game came out shortly after Harry Potter, I believe, and it was the second most sold game on Steam. So that speaks volumes, and I just want to be a testament as somebody that's never even played survival games to jump into this one and fall in love with it. And it just gets my highest recommendation. As far as the details that I was talking about in the game, it's just, they take so much time to help you understand what you should and shouldn't be doing, and there's not much verbal communication in the game, so everything you do, you're interpreting through sounds, body language, reading, and stuff like that. You land on the island, and once you get inside your emergency kit bag, you have a book that teaches you how to build shelter and build accessories for your home and build things to store your food and to store your logs and your rocks and your sticks and everything else. And you get Kelvin, which is a huge help because you don't have to do everything on your own. You can ask him to go gather things and put them in the structures that you've built so you can keep them, and when you need them, they're there for you. And you keep doing that. You can even places to store your food. Like I said, if you catch food and you want to not eat it right away but save it for later, and it can rot, of course. It's very realistic. It can rot over time, but when you hang it up, it definitely lasts longer. You go through the map and you find, communities where some of the cannibals that's inhabiting the island live, and you can raid through their stuff, but you got to be careful because, of course, if you're raiding their stuff, anything can happen to you. They could come, kill you, knock you out, tie you up, and you gotta escape from that. It's just a lot. It's a night and day cycle. It's a season cycle. Of course, when it's cold, you got to figure out ways to keep yourself warm. And there's no fish during the winter season. It's very much so a lot to consider, but it doesn't feel too overwhelming. At first, that was a big issue with me personally in playing survival games. I always felt like it was a little bit overwhelming when you had to you know, I gotta eat, I gotta drink, I gotta sleep, I gotta make sure, you know, if I get hit, there's no just, you know, find a health pack and that's it. You gotta run around and chop down trees to make sure your civilization is there. You can only save at a place where you can sleep, and you know, if you run off to one side of the island and you have no structure, you have to build it there. So it just seemed like a lot to me. It was pretty overwhelming, but they made the game, they built it in a way to where the work is very rewarding once you do it. You can create these places, and you know, the trees are infinite, of course, and it just, again, the help of Kelvin made this a lot more enjoyable because you don't have to do the tedious work of chopping down every tree and placing every log on every structure that you built all on your own. So that's a big help. Also a big help is the co-op. I believe this game can hold up to 6 to 8. I want to say 8. I did it once with a couple of guys. Shout out to the Real Gamer Nation. We definitely did it, and I think it can go up to 8 players. So imagine you and 7 of your friends on this island, and you're just like running amok. You do whatever, you antagonize cannibals. You know, if everybody gets their guns and spears and arrows, and you could just attack another civilization. But you know, antagonizing the locals will make your stay there a little bit more rough. But at the end of the day, is nothing beats, you know, building wooden mansions with your friends. So if that sounds like something you would enjoy, I think that this game is something for my PC players. Is definitely something they should give a shot. Even if you've never played a survival game or even horror games, if you're not into, I think this game provides a good balance of those two things. Like I said, I'm into horror games a little bit, not into survival at all, but this one, it just had a lot of care and work put into it, and I have to always give my praise to those games on this channel, man. So I appreciate y'all again. Thanks for tuning in to Logic's Lens, where the gamers win, and I'm out.